In this video, I'm going to quickly show you how to create an interactive trivia quiz book. Now, I'm not going to start from scratch, and if you don't know how to use the Ultimate ebook creator, then I would suggest that you watch the very first video on the sales page. So I'm not going to go through the basics. What I've done is I've basically started a trivia book, and I've split them up into easy, medium and hard questions. And what we're going to do is we're just going to look at how you can make this book into an interactive book. So let's go to chapter 1, which is the easier trivia questions. And in this chapter, what I have is a simple image. Now this is a public domain image, and whenever you use public domain images, make sure that you actually give the credit to where the images come from. So here's our little credit, and I make it usually around font size 8, so you don't want it to really stand out. Okay, and then here we have a bunch of questions, and what we're going to do is we're going to make these answers into links that the user can click, and then he's going to go to the actual section where he's going to see whether that answer was correct or not. So here's our first question, and here are 4 possible answers. So the first thing we want to do is we want to set up a chapter which is called our answers. Okay, so we're going to add a chapter called answers. Okay, and you can make this, usually I make this like 14 and Arial, and I usually make it bold. We'll click OK. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create our answers to each one of these questions in here as sections. Okay, so we're going to go here and we're going to use the following convention. So what I tend to do is I say question 1, answer 1. Okay, so it's question 1, answer 1. Now this option here in this situation, because we're creating a trivia book, we want to show the sections on a page break. Okay, so basically we want to have this option turned on. Click OK, and now we're going to type in. Now I know for a fact that A is the correct answer, so for question 1 answer A, sorry, question 1 answer 1, I'm going to say that is correct. Well done. Well done. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to create a link back to that question. So we want to make this linkable. Now before we can make this linkable, we've got to put a bookmark on the question 1. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll go back to question 1, and what I normally do is I put a bookmark right just before the 1 here. So I'll right click here, go to bookmark, insert a bookmark, and I'm just going to say Q1 for question 1. Now as you know, bookmarks have to be totally unique throughout the whole book, so having some kind of convention is a really good idea. Okay, so I'm just going to put Q1 for question 1, and now let's go back to our Q1A1 section, and here we're going to highlight the word which says back, and then we're going to go link to bookmark, and in the contents bookmark tab, here is our Q1 bookmark that we just created, and this is just some information that helps you identify where you created the bookmark. So we did create it in the chapter called NFL Draft Trivia Easy, and if we were inside a section, then it would also show the section here. Let's click OK. So this one is clickable and going back. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to make the first answer clickable too, which will jump to this answer here. So what we do is we highlight, right click, go to link to bookmarks, and then insert link to bookmark. Now here we have basically 2 tabs. The first tab we already saw, which is called content bookmarks, but really what we want to do is we want to link to this section here called Q1A1. So we'll click on table of contents, and we'll look for that chapter, which is the answers chapter, and under the answers chapter we have the Q1A1. So we'll click this and we'll click OK. So that's the easier way of doing it. The other way you could do is you could basically put a bookmark here, right? A custom bookmark, and then over here you would basically link to that bookmark. But to make things easy, I'm just going to link to this section. So let's go ahead and do the second one. Now the second one is incorrect, so we're going to add, we'll click on the answers, the chapter, because we want to add a section under the chapter. And then we're going to say add a section, we'll call it Q1A2, click OK, and we'll do the same for Q1A3 and one more, so we'll say Q1A4. So those are the four multi-choice answers. Now obviously 2, 3 and 4 are incorrect, so we'll say incorrect, please try again, and then we'll put a back button here as well, highlight, right click, and then we'll insert a link back to the question 1, and we'll do the same thing, incorrect, please try again. We'll go back, we'll choose that, and then we'll do the same thing for, we'll do the same thing, and then we can go and link to this. Now you don't have to create these these extra incorrect answers. You could have one correct answer and then all the rest would be incorrect. Now that would be a really good way of doing it too, but sometimes maybe if you want to, you know, put some custom text in here to say why that answer was incorrect, in that case I would suggest that you split them up. But if you don't want to do that, then you can go ahead and basically just have Q1 correct and Q1 incorrect, something like that. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. We'll go through another example. Okay, so that's that. Now let's go back to our trivia, and then we're going to link to these. Okay, so here is the link to the second one. We'll say insert link to bookmark. Then we'll go here. We'll go down to Q2. And we'll do Q3, and then finally we're going to do the last one, link, and then we're going to go Q4. Okay, so that's the first one done. Now let me show you what I was talking about, where we have one right question and the other ones are incorrect. So here we're going to insert a section called Q2, and we'll call it correct. Okay, make sure we have our insert page break on, and then we'll create another one called Q2 incorrect. Okay, and then here we'll say correct, well done, and then we'll put a back in here, and we need to point back to question 2, so we'll go back to our questions. Where are they? Here. And we'll put a bookmark, we'll call it Q2, okay, and then here we are going to basically right click, link to bookmark, and then we're going to go here and we're going to go down here to Qt correct, and all these will link to the incorrect. So we'll go down here, incorrect, and over here it'll be going to incorrect, and here we'll be going to incorrect also. Alright, so that is done. Now we need to basically point back to Q2, so we'll go to the correct, we'll highlight the back button, and then we'll say link to bookmark. In the contents, now we have Q2, so we'll highlight it and click OK, and we'll do the same thing here. Incorrect. We'll put back and right click, and we'll go here, click OK. So that's everything set up. Now of course you're going to go through the whole book like this. I've just done the first two. Now let's go ahead and basically let's generate our ebook. So Moby Book, and we're going to save it in our My Kindle eBooks NHL trivia. Okay, so it's created it, and now let's go to the folder. Okay, so here is our generated book. We'll double click on that to load it into our Kindle reader. Okay, now let me resize this reader so we can see the whole thing. Okay, I think that's about right. And here, so we have a table of contents, and we'll go to the first trivia, and as you can see now, these are clickable, and when we click on this one, we'll say, yeah, that is correct, well done, go back. And this one here will say incorrect, please try again. And same for here, one of these, now this one says correct. I don't think this is the actual answer, but anyway, you get the idea, right? So that's how you do interactive quiz books.